Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to this special spoiler edition of the Brit and Twit, the spoiler live. Hey, Felix, long time no see. Good to see you. Where, if you're watching this in the future, we did a live spoiler commentary, review, summary, so on and so forth. As always, I am CP or the Twit.
And I'm the other one.
All the way from 10 feet to my 1 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a couple of rooms between us, but
some doors. Keeps us safe.
Yeah.
So what we'll be talking about and spoiling, we're going to go through the entirety of The Craft Legacy 2020, directed by Zoe Lister-Jones. Massive shout out to whereverilook.com. We're using that as a bit of a
just a reminder.
Yeah, a bit of a map.
We saw the film, both of us, a couple of days ago.
Has it been that long ago?
Yeah.
Feels like 6 years every time an hour passes.
Yeah, I made exactly one note after the thing, and then yeah. So this is just to remind us of a couple of basic plot beats. A couple of things I didn't even notice, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah. So this is not even a full 11 months since 2019's Black Christmas, since Blumhouse's The Invisible Man. The Craft Legacy continues in this tradition, it seems, of Jason Blum scooping up a property, redoing it,
and adding a man cult of some description.
Yeah, and really fucking dicking around with the anti-man SJW vibe. And let me dig the hole as the man. It's really hard as somebody who tries to defend I don't want to call it pro SJW, but like, these movies that have messages, I try to defend. I try to have an open mind about. Listen, like I've said it a couple of times.
Sure.
If you make a movie where it's told well enough, I'll hate myself if you wanted me to. But these movies, with the exception of Invisible Man was actually quite proficiently made.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
With some caveats here and there, but the movie was good enough where it didn't really matter. I actually thought that there was stuff, whether it be, you didn't know whether or not she was, like what she was saying, they left it open where like you could believe that she was lying, and that the way that was made, I accepted a lot more of what was going on. Yes. Whereas Black Christmas and the Craft Legacy really are message above all else.
Is there a word for that?
I don't know.
Substance over style? No, it's not. I don't know.
We'll get there soon enough. Yeah. I mean, if this shit keeps happening, we're gonna have a word for it. Blumhousing it? I don't know. Yikes.
Nice callback. Yeah, this one wasn't as bad as Black. Like, if we'd gone to see this in the theater, I wouldn't have wanted to storm out within 10 minutes. Oh.
Right. Go ahead. You're good.
You just disappeared. And sorry about the background. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to have stormed out within 10 minutes. I was willing to give this a try.
Well, us being home kind of a...
Yeah.
Us being, on our couch probably helped you not wanting to storm out.
Yeah, where do I storm to? The kitchen?
Yeah, I guess you could have went to the bedroom or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. Grumble.
Just, I mean, it is a solid point. Black Christmas was pretty fuck you from the start, where it was just hideous. It was really hideous with its messaging.
Good word, yes. Where
Craft Legacy didn't feel that way. It felt, if there was anything I felt from Craft Legacy from the start, it felt Twilight-ish, which isn't bad. It's just, I feel like
I feel like it didn't have as hard of an act to follow compared to I don't know if you'd call Black Christmas iconic, but the original film is very much loved by horror fans, and even the remake, a lot of people seem to like that, even though the villain is yellow, and so on. The weird incest thing they worked in there, but some people enjoy it, and even I could find things to like about it. The Craft, I don't know if it had that big of a fan base to begin with.
See, I
saw Lindsay Ellis review it once, and that's about it as far as the cultural zeitgeist. I don't know. Like, I don't hear people talk about it much.
Well, it's weird. I was a parallel. I was a teenager when that movie came out, so I was, the counter to that target audience. And I remember watching it, and it seemed like, poser girls decided that witches were totally there. Like, it was like a flavor of the month thing because of this movie. Boys take up boxing because of Rocky, and girls take up Wiccan because of The Craft.
Everyone just wants to feel powerful.
Yeah, and
in different ways.
What's weird is, so however you feel about the original, this movie kind of like condenses that and kind of goes right through it really quickly with everything that they invest in the original. Like, it takes them time. They have, each character has their own thing. Neve Campbell's character's got that weird skin thing, yes. And that's why she's kind of introverted. The black girl is not white and has that to deal with bullies and shit. The blonde from Brady Bunch movie was a bully. Yes. The one who played Marcia. She's currently Ben Stiller's wife, or was for a bit. Fuck. And
obviously Nancy was, had a really rough home life and kind of impoverished, even though she could afford all that leather somehow.
Which one's Nancy?
Fairuza Balk. Fairuza?
Oh,
how do you say her name?
Fairuza.
The one who goes a little batshit.
Right. I forget their names. I just know them. See, I don't care about their names because their characters had enough going on. And
I don't remember Nancy's name. And Robin,
you keep saying it.
I'm sorry.
What? Who's what?
From the original, the protagonist, Robin, who is naturally gifted, I suppose.
Oh, right. That is, I should know her name.
She was in End of Days.
Or End of Days, sure.
That too.
Fuck. Robin, is her name Robin in the movie? So bad.
See, I don't know their names. I just know Nancy's. That's it.
All right. So while I look, should have had the original Craft loaded. Bad job. This will be edited out later.
I should bring up the chat, see if
Robin Tunney.
That's it.
Who plays Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah. On IMDb, it has a 6.4 out of 10, which is as normal and unnoteworthy as any other movie that has a cult following. I don't want to call it a cult following. I don't know. Real quick. To the chat, hello everyone who's joining us live.
Yeah, hello.
If you're watching this in the future, you probably have a bit more visual elements, but if you're watching live, you have the ability to interact. So each end of the pickle has a different experience. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, Manhammer? Taking a bong hit just for you.
Well, thanks.
It's good to know. At least I know that Jersey, rather soon, I'll be able to take a short trip and join you. Felix says I gave it 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10 golden burritos. No jam sandwiches. That's pretty strong, Felix. That's
I like the golden burritos. That is nice.
Yeah, so he already ruined. Like, he totally shit on your jam sandwiches.
Are they solid gold or just plated? Is it edible gold?
If it was a burrito, I would hope it's plated. Why would you eat a solid gold burrito? That's terrible.
Well, you might. Yeah, true.
That sounds awfully heavy. Valuable, but heavy nonetheless.
Not delicious. Yeah.
Yo, it's me. Blumhouse ruining another franchise. Yeah. That's a fair assessment. The only good thing Blumhouse was Halloween 2018, Sinister, and maybe Happy Death Day. Happy Death Day, I'll jump on board with that. That's something that kind of, it's not very original, but it certainly
it's
has
got
fun.
character, and especially the main girl. It's fun to watch, but both that and the sequel.
Yeah. What's up, Dale? Tom, what's going on? Tom, how are you? And I think Stiff Kittens, what is going on? You've never seen either craft. Well, run, because we're going to spoil the balls off of it. What's up, Abby? And
okay.
And Kimberly. I replied to Jason Blum with a yikes when he tweeted to give the Craft Legacy a watch, which would be the second time for me. Ugh. Once was enough. What an insult to the OG Craft. Okay, so there's a fan of the original Craft, and yeah, it's an insult. It's an insult to people with, I don't know, time on their hands.
So it's Sarah, Nancy, Bonnie. It's the Neve Campbell character, and Rochelle, I think, is the other girl.
Right. So in the original, they take about half the movie, fleshing out the characters, struggling with the ability to perform witchery.
They bond. They share their respective traumas, and we get to see it.
Right. And when they're trying to do like the hovering, the light as a feather, stiff as a board, they don't.
That is a whole scene, yeah.
Yeah, that they don't get it. It's a thing that throughout the first half of the movie, it's a struggle for them. They build to their success.
All right. So point. When they redo the light as a feather scene in this reboot, I think A, it assumes you have already seen the original, because B, it's a reboot/sequel. That's kind of a twist in and of itself, I think. I didn't know that going in anyway.
D, it's done within the first 10 minutes, and they're like, never do it again.
It's over very quickly. I think it could have been given more attention, but in a way, we've seen it already.
Yeah, the movie opens with three girls trying to do that, I think, right? It's the three girls who are missing a fourth, West.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a ritual, and the big spooky spirit daddy, whatever his name is, doesn't decide to show up.
Yeah, because they're incomplete. And they go through that, and again, like very quickly, it's not even a scene. It's just it's like a precursor, a setup for them to talk about how they need a fourth, and then we go to what is your name, Lily?
Yep, she's moving in with her mom.
Yeah, and
new place.
That's where it feels a little Twilight-ish, because Twilight, moving to a new neighborhood, new girl in town, kind of same shit. Lily very much looks like Ellen Page in Hard Candy. Those of you watching after November 5th will have a little bit of a joke to look at. Sorry to those of you who just are watching Two Talking Heads, but
yeah, she's got everything that CP hates. She's got the short hair, the mom jeans.
Yeah,
all of that.
Listen, if I'm gonna fuck you, you're gonna have to give me something pretty.
Yeah, you better shape up, underage fictional character.
Yeah. Listen, I need an ulterior motive to watch this movie, and it's just not there. Sorry.
There's very little sex appeal, true, but I mean, we don't exactly go around in three-piece suits ourselves, so.
Speak for yourself.
Do you have a suit?
I do.
Oh,
I had a couple. I lost a couple.
Oh, in the move.
Yeah. Which happy anniversary, by the way.
Dennis is walking around in all your suits now.
He's dancing like Tom Cruise in
Risky Business.
Yeah.
Is he in the chat? Hi, Dennis, if you're here.
Yeah, probably not. It's late. It's late.
So she's moving in. It's established immediately that she's got 3 new stepbrothers, and it's awkward. But more so, there's David Duchovny, who is stepdad.
Well,
And
from Jump Street, the 3 kids are Bible name, Bible name, Bible name, and it was
Isaac and Jeremiah and Moses, and I don't know who else.
Like fucking, it was just like, oh, go get your brother Job.
Job.
It just stuck out to me like, oh, okay, biblical names for the boys, and
yeah, that's character development for dad, I suppose.
Sure.
I'm going to name them after characters from my favorite and the only book I have ever read. I don't know. But yeah, I can't remember my initial impression of dad character, except that, evil step parent, just generically.
I didn't get the vibe that he was evil right away. Like, again, this is a movie that I feel like for the first act certainly didn't feel stinky. It certainly was enough for me to, because I mean, there's times where I've started something in the house and I've just said, no, this is not what we're doing with our time tonight, or you'll just leave, which nobody's keeping you here. But both of us kind of stayed and were intrigued enough to follow it through. And I don't think there was anything about David Duchovny's character or the kids, other than the Brady Bunch vibe of single dad with 3 boys and single mom with 1 girl. And
one of the boys, I was like, I know I've seen him before, but I hadn't. It was just the John Connor Jr. haircut that he was. He looked exactly like John Connor from the Terminator 2. It's just
Edward Furlong.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd even call that. Is there a name for that cut?
That's the cut that I wanted as a teenager but couldn't have because I have poofy, curly hair.
Yeah. Back when you were a child actor.
Yeah. After I was a child actor, because I couldn't have that hairdo because the other hairdo was getting me work.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting little side note. So Kimberly says 1 brother would have been enough. No info about the original mom either. That was on purpose. We'll get to that certainly in a bit. David Duchovny said there was a lot of changes towards the end of filming, which is certainly interesting and telling.
Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. Yeah, but 1 brother, specifically the one who is friends with what's his face? The
bully character.
No, the one who what's his name?
You got me.
The one who Timmy hooks up with. Timmy, her love interest, main girl, Lily.
Yeah, the bully guy.
He's I didn't get that, but okay.
When she has her period and he makes her feel like shit in front of the whole class?
Yeah, but...
But...
I mean, it's
what would you call that?
It's one of her stepbrothers that hooks up with that guy. That's the one brother that is important, I would say.
No, yeah,
There's youngest brother who kind of had a chat with Lily, but it's kind of... I don't know, neither here nor there, to be honest.
Oh, are you trying to get at the fact that she has like a kind of friendly relationship with one of them? Like one of them's hanging out in the backyard, and he's like, oh, he always like he was just kind of like, the good one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then I forget. Okay, so there was youngest brother, the one she talks to, John Connor. There was the one who hooks up with Timmy, and then there was a brother who was watching porn and gets discovered by her, but I don't know if that's 3rd brother or just 2nd brother again. Too many brothers.
Right. So there's there are doors closed in the house, and
she's getting weird vibes, and she starts hearing
not weird vibes. She hears some woman sounding like she's
in trouble. Yeah.
and things like that. Turns out my man is watching porn on his laptop at volume 11.
Which, as you've said, even if you're alone in the house, is just not a thing, dudes.
Yeah, I don't watch porn with the volume on, first of all. Secondly, not at that, like, I don't throw the fucking sound system on for the, I don't know, Maybe some people are turned on by the sound and the sound alone, but he had the sound up way a lot.
I don't know if that's discourse on its own, like, oh, men watch pornography where it sounds like the woman's yelling. Feminism.
Men like women in pain porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Which some people do.
True.
That's fair. Everybody has their own kink, and that's fair enough. Yes, it is time for a cold one. Today's beverage of choice is Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Long Island. So, yeah, she's new at the school. Insert every stereotype about being the new kid in town here. Like she has that,
The desks in American schools are fucking tiny.
That's normal.
That's what struck me on the first viewing. I was like, they don't give you any space to work. Jesus Christ.
So the American high school desks are normal, but shocked Emily to realize we just have like something to put your elbow on. But that's exactly what my desk looked like in high school. So normal. I'm not taking away or giving any points for the desks, but Emily was shocked to see that. I
mean, I've worked from smaller, like fold over arms but this was like in an auditorium where everyone was sat side by side. So there was limited space.
We don't have money for desks. This is
where's it going then?
To banks and their CEOs.
You guys gotta fucking sort yourselves out anyway.
No, we're fucking it up as we speak. We're all set with you and your opinions. You non-American. You don't even count as a person.
This is getting a little too real. Anyway.
Sorry, yeah. Hi.
So she's in class. I forget what class. Often in the movies they'll be having a lecture that's curiously relevant to whatever the protagonist.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's happening.
Nope.
Suddenly everyone just starts going, ew.
No, not everyone. It's this one dude.
He starts it, yeah. It's a conga line.
And he's like, hey, holy shit, what the fuck going on there? Or something to that nature.
Yeah.
And it turns out that she's bleeding
it's like the Battle of Britain. It's an absolute nightmare, which I don't know. Like, even if it's implied this is her first period ever, right?
Yes.
Like a carry scene.
Yeah.
But you feel a little something. It's like a glug, glug, glug. I don't know. I can't believe that she didn't notice at all. Yeah, you notice. It's
so I have nothing to contribute to this, and you take your drink. So it turns out
just chipping in with my woman knowledge. Carry on.
It turns out that it's her first period. She has it, while seated, and it's quite heavy. And she doesn't realize. Also, the other thing that, like, listen, I've had times you've noticed where I've had times where I kind of forget that I need to go to the bathroom, and I sprinkle on myself. Oh shit, I gotta go.
Well, we've all been there.
Well, yeah, the medication I'm on kind of turns my brain off. Regardless, when you get wet, you feel it. Like, and she's sitting in, like I said, about a turkey's worth of blood, and nothing. So
it's someone behind her that notices, and then there's a Mexican wave of, oh, that's gross, and in the moment she gets up and flees the room, and there's no girls being like, oh, I'll wrap my jumper around you, or I'll walk behind you. Like, it takes a little while for, as it turns out, the three witchy girls to be in the bathroom and be like, hey, here's some feminine products and some friendly advice and all that.
Oh, I think they had a pair of pants too.
Yeah, that's right. That's I don't know these girls' names either. She's got stuff left over from gym, which is handy.
I'm reading the summary, and apparently
Lily, Frankie, Lourdes, and Tabby. Okay.
Apparently Lourdes is a trans girl? They never mentioned that.
Yeah, that must have been a one-line remark that we both have missed, but okay.
That's real.
I mean, it has very little bearing on the plot, which, is positive representation in a way, so kudos to them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if the actress is trans, but whatever. It doesn't affect the plot.
Right. If you're gonna fucking shove something into a movie, don't make a big deal of it, which apparently they did do. But I don't know why it's made a point of here in post that she's a trans girl. Nothing to associate that with in the film, where again, in the original craft, the characters were fleshed out. Each of the four had their own little thing, like the skin, the being black, and being bullied by a bimbo Barbie chick, and Fairuza Balk's character was kind of the lead. I forget.
So we don't really see the girls and their bullies, especially. They're outcasts. They get the side eye when they go to lunch, which, again, I don't know, people, would they bother with that in a school? Would they still just be like, oh, there go the weird girls. Ugh, we hate that. Like, no.
I don't know. It's been 20 years since I've been in school, so I don't know if that's still a thing.
It's been about 10 years since I was in school, and yeah, I was bullied, but mostly I was just ignored. It wasn't like you freak. That's something else in American movies. All this throwing of the word freak, I don't believe it. Like, does that really happen? It's in everything. Like the Joker movie, even. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like, he's getting relentlessly tormented and called a freak. I just don't buy it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't. I see the problem. The problem with me, first of all, is words don't really hit me like that, so they don't stick. What I notice is if the big words are being used and they're being used properly.
Constantinople.
Yeah,
that's a big word.
Mississippi, not mentioned once in this movie. But yeah, like I figured in 2020, okay, because we solved racism, so it's fixed. In 2020, with the African American female, I figured they would have skated close to that topic, and don't.
Yeah, Rochelle, that's her whole thing. Many scenes devoted to that. In this one, not so much, and neither for Lord, who's the trans girl.
Right, right.
I don't know if that says something like super progressive, that it doesn't affect her witchy powers, that she was assigned male at birth. That's kind of cool.
Sure, but none of that is told or shown.
Yeah, like it doesn't. It's not plot relevant at all. They just don't bring it up.
It's strange. Like some ways that they're just like, this is the way it is, and that's just the way it is. It hasn't no effect on the film itself. But at the same time, it's like, well, cool. Thank you for that. But why not? Why did you do that? And they take, so everything that's I don't know, conflict in the original craft is fucking squished, and it's the first act.
There's another thing that they eradicate almost entirely, but we'll get to it. Doesn't Tabby get something written on her locker?
Who's Tabby? The black girl?
Yeah, in this one, yeah. Does she not get something written?
Well, yeah, that's when she uses her finger burner, her fucking eraser of flame.
Yeah.
And just kind of burns it out, and that's it.
Aside from that, we don't get much more bullying from,
I think somebody
no specific
died
scenes for the other three. Oh, no. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I listen, whether or not they were cut or what, but there isn't much focus on the freak nature of these girls. It's mostly this bully character. Well, so to go back, when they realize that our lead is awfully heavy and having a rough day, we all have ant flow. They notice her necklace, which has the official logo.
That one symbol on it. Yeah. The official logo.
Yeah, it's got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers logo, which means that, It speaks to them, and that's
like in that one Stonecutters episode, the mark.
yeah. So
yeah, she probably got it at
well, we find out
Old Navy or something like that.
no
Generic witchy. Well, all right. Well,
she inherited it. Again, for the first act, they don't really trip up or fuck up too much. It is a little cynically stereotypical, because then they break out the Ouija board, and then it's candles and Ouija time.
Yeah.
The Ouija board.
All right. So the other girls, are they descendants of the original OG craft witches? Then it's not really explained where they got their powers or where they're getting all their textbooks that are legit and not just stuff they found at Hot Topic.
Yeah, don't worry.
Because capitalism, we gotta capitalize on modern day witches.
Buy stock in candles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, they see her necklace, and then how soon after that they call to her psychically or something, and this is while she's in detention.
Oh, right. It's the same.
Why is she in detention?
Because
I don't remember.
no, so the bully, which you don't think is a bully, tries to say something to her that makes her feel shitty again, and then she, like, without touching him, she fucking shoves him off with her crazy Obi-Wan powers that she has. Where
Obi-Wan would never.
Yeah, well, all right, well, old school Obi-Wan. So they realize, oh, she's got
magic powers you have.
Yeah. you have the mark.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So
it's surprising that there are so many witnesses to that, and it's never really brought up. It's just like, oh, well, the important thing is you shoved him, and that's bad.
Yeah.
So
they both go to detention.
And
then while she's in detention, the other three call to her through osmosis.
And she has to bring her bag, and the teacher's like, do you need to take that? And Timmy's like, yeah, she's on the rag. So to the rescue.
No, they tell her to bring her bag. They're like, no, bring your bag. Like they know what the fuck. They could see now too.
Yeah. Why did she need to bring the bag? Oh, well.
Because she's just ditching. Because that's what you do on detention. You just bail. Yeah.
And then he trips her on the way out, and he gets double detention.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, double detention. Which, by the way, this guy's the bully. I don't know. I don't know what movie you were watching, but
it should have kept going and going, like in The Breakfast Club.
He was the villain. There was certainly, at least as far as the first act is concerned, he was the villain.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hang on, doesn't she have a love interest in the original? And it was surprising that they combined this bully character with the love. Yeah, that was interesting.
We'll get there.
They did that in fucking The Nun, didn't they? They had a character who was both comic relief and romantic interest for a nun. I guess they didn't want too many extraneous characters, but that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Kimberly coming in clutch with the third handle. I was so annoyed with her not being freaked out that the girls were talking to her in her head. Yeah, like she's only now discovering that she's got these like the force push was just, didn't even notice anything about it, but there's no sort of shock, like, like she is kind of like, is this really happening? And then that's it.
Yeah, it's happening. Oh, all right.
All right, well, cool. So let's go buy some Ouija boards and candles, and we're all set. And Kimberly brought it up before too. There's no magic shop. The magic shop was
that was a thing.
Not that big a deal, but it was a thing in the original. That again, if you watch the original craft, I can see how a 16-year-old, 15, 16-year-old girl can be like, you know what, I'm gonna look for a store like this, and I'm gonna start buying candles and Ouija boards, and
it's the aesthetic. It's part of the process, like half the fun of it.
Right.
Just getting the candles.
And it's just Cliff Notes here. It's just, we have it.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. We want to do a spell to make the bully not as much a bully and make him feel shitty. And then they have a spell where they have to get something from him, and it ends up being a fucking condom.
Uh-huh.
A used condom at that?
Yes, we need DNA.
Is that what it was? DNA?
No, not. They didn't say it
It was
outright.
something
But
blood something blood or spit or
yeah,
something.
old school magic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they take his used condom because they're in his house now, by the way.
Yeah. And they put that in his smoothie or something, his protein shake. I don't know.
No, they sprinkle it all over his pillow.
Oh, well, that's gross.
Yeah.
Not that the alternative wasn't gross.
Well, yeah, tasting is one thing, but laying down in it, how dare you?
Certain places they'll pay for that, won't they? Like, they have breast milk ice cream now, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah. So
this is just to get him to stop being a dick, I guess.
I thought it was to.
How did they get into his house? They just snuck in.
Right. Breaking and entering, fucking.
That's a crime.
We're okay. We're the heroes in this movie. Don't question it.
Oh no! Before they do this, they discover that they can stop time, and when he's about to burst into his room and discover them there, they manage to stop it. But for some reason, they still jump out the window, which I thought was.
That's right. They do. They put it in his bong too.
Yes, I remember now.
Yeah. So. As Kimberly says, they put it in his pipe and mix it and sprinkle it on the pillow. And yeah, they find out that they're able to pause time, which that's clutch.
That has enormous ramifications.
Right. Do that always.
Even the fire thing, like Jesus Christ, can you imagine if the U.S. government got wind of this?
They're the X-Men. Just don't call them men.
Ex-ladies who bleed or not. No, that's fine too.
X-them. The X-them.
Yeah.
Get the proper pronouns and let's set it straight. Yeah, this is all still the first act, mind you. We're cruising as far as storytelling is concerned. Then it turns out, and this is where, as far as I'm concerned, the movie just takes a left. It goes from being
yes. Minor point. Just before we continue, so David Duchovny does want to punish Lily for swiping at a bully.
Physical contact, yeah.
And Mom's like, yeah, but come on, but are we trying to teach her that she shouldn't defend herself? Yeah, but I have a zero violence policy, and my word is law. No offense.
Yeah. So, and then Lily's like, thanks, Ma.
Yeah. So minor rift there.
And then Michelle Monaghan's like, well, he's got that monster cock, so I gotta, sorry,
I think that's word for word. Yeah, I think
he's got that giant hog of his, so just take the punishment. Yeah.
Oh, my eyes watering. Anyway.
So their spell works. He's now.
They actually say, "I really like woke Timmy." That is a line from the movie.
Right. So he's no longer a bully. He's now super effeminate, nice guy.
They have a sex ed class where they're making inappropriate remarks, and he says, "Can we not? That could really trigger someone."
Oh,
and the girls are like, "Ooh."
His other friends who were like snickering and having fun with the being teenage boys in a sex ed class, and he's snapping at them because
that is interesting that they keep you all in the same class. Back where I'm from, they split everybody up. Like all the girls have their one assembly about their women's products and their bodies and etc. And the guys aren't allowed in, which that stops them from being dicks and just throwing tampons everywhere. But maybe it's something they should know. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
You're just everyone in the class at once.
Yeah, I don't think I was even taught sex ed, but regardless.
No? Was it like the thing in Mean Girls, like don't have sex or you will get pregnant and die, and that's it?
No, I went to an urban high school where no,
it just wasn't.
No, just nope.
Well, then.
Well, I did not spend too much time in school too. So perhaps I missed that day.
Maybe.
That month. Cheat codes at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, so he slowly and surely becomes what is that echo?
I don't know.
Do you have me on like loud volume? Is it
No, I'll close the YouTube window just in case, but I don't think I'm doing anything different.
So he's super woke, which is the word that they called him. Woke to me.
Yeah.
And
I be a little more sensitive, okay?
And I said he was a little too effeminate, and you didn't think anything of it. But I
was like, look, this movie's trying to be progressive, so I doubt they're gonna go with the, well, if a guy is sensitive, he must be gay. However, yeah, he does later come out as bisexual, and there's even a speech about how, no one believes he's bisexual. Like, if he fucks one dude, then he must be gay, and it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fair point. I'm sure a lot of bi men struggle with that, but it wasn't very natural to the conversation. It was just kind of like movies ticking a box.
No, yeah, so once he's not the bully anymore, after they cast their spell and it's working on him.
Yeah, so now Lily's like,
yeah, he's now like fifth bitch with them, and he they hang out and paint each other's toenails, and
isn't that kind of horrifying that they just made him a different person? Like, they erased his personality.
That would have been fun if they explored that and really.
Yeah, that's probably a war crime of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, the CIA has been doing that for years. What are you talking about?
And then we made our enemies not want to fight anymore.
And gay as well.
That was a real thing they were developing way back when. They were developing some kind of gay bomb. Did you not hear about this?
No.
Obviously, the development didn't get very far, but yeah, it was going to be some kind of chemical thing that would make the other side, too busy humping each other to pay attention.
Wow. That's a bomb, all right. Shit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So anyway, he's like their fifth wheel now, and like he's the official cheerleader for their group. Although they don't let him in on any of their reindeer games as far as witching is concerned.
Which is very hypocritical.
Well, they
don't really establish if men can be witches. I mean, there's the man cult, which we'll get to, but I don't know. David Duchovny seems to think that Timmy is one of them, and that he's made in their image, is the way he puts it exactly. Like, because he's like them, witchy, effeminate, in your words. I don't know. Like, he's like, yeah, like he's just being ragingly homophobic, which is I don't know. So we don't know if which team Timmy is on exactly. I guess not. Was he in the cult to begin with? Because I don't know. Like one brother seems very upset, and David's like, "No, you're not weak, son. He was weak."
Oh, you're fast forwarding way ahead.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah.
So he's
hanging out with the ladies. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the gay things, that's towards the end. So he's sort of smitten for Lily. She's sort of smitten for him. That they're kind of skating closer and closer to it. He eats dinner at their house one of the nights, and the one of the brothers is missing, and David Duchovny's not happy.
Yeah, it's all very awkward.
Yeah, so that you get your antennas up for that. Already, like it hasn't gone fully down the hole just yet, where it could, it's salvageable at this point, this movie. It's just weird beats where it's like, okay, well, the guy's really in touch, and suddenly he's speaking with a bit of a effeminate tone, whatever. Yes, dynamite drop.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to read something over here, but
Yeah, so this link here just goes to full ending explained. So we're going to have to do the second act here as...
This says it doesn't explore the racism Tabby deals with, nor the issue Lord Ludra's...
Lord.
Yeah. But that's because magic is made to be a bit more fun in the craft legacy. Yeah, so this is another point that I wanted to bring up, that there's no real tension within the group. Like, in the original film, Nancy, obviously, she goes a bit power crazy. She feels the master running through her veins, and she finds sharks beached on the sand, and she's going, "These are my gifts!"
Oh, right, the original, yeah.
Yeah, so they're all like, okay, we got to stop this magic shit. Oh, no, says Nancy. You two are going to be my slaves now, and we're going to get this one. I don't know. Yeah. So it seems to be saying something about how women with power will turn on each other eventually, and it's, there's some kind of commentary there, but in this one, not really.
Not as heavy-handed, enjoyable without the commentary. Commentary. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a slight abuse of power, I suppose, but it doesn't go as badly wrong as in the
right. They turn a dude inside out, for fuck's sake.
Well, the movie doesn't think that's a big deal, and then there's a love spell, which really doesn't get Timmy killed. It's more what David Duchovny does to him.
So, as Kimberly mentions, they didn't get his consent to come out, so it's still really messed up. Right, and consent was that was a minor factor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how this movie preaches about consent and the girls abuse it. So,
yeah, double standards.
Yeah. So him and her kiss.
Yeah, she does kind of a spell with his sweater, and she's taking care of some business, as CP would say. But
she's scared.
Yeah, that's part of it, I suppose. Yeah. With his itchy sweater, but then he walks in.
By the way, she has a visitor still at her house. As far as she's concerned, the person that she brought over is still in her house, and she decides, well,
I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, it's like it's 7 p.m. or some shit. Let me scratch the record for a little bit. He's still at the house, and he interrupts her
spell
and jazz. And they
kiss. How many phrases do you have for that? Yep, they smooch. But then David walks in, and it's like no one can get busy in this house without being interrupted. Like there was the brother earlier with the porn, then her, then the two of them.
Yeah, you can smell it. That's what the problem is.
That's a horror movie, all right.
That's what their secret power is.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so Duchovny interrupts them kissing,
and he's like,
Yeah, and the boy. Is this before or after he confesses everything? It's before. It has to be.
No, it's after, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, they're doing some kind of what's it called when you're like, okay, here's 3 things about me, and only one of them is false or true.
Oh.
He says this,
right.
This.
Right. Because the kiss is the last thing that poor bastard deals with, because she fucks up.
So I'm pretty sure Lily is like, okay, he is still bisexual. I think I have a chance.
Yeah. So he confesses that he fucked one of the Bible name boys. And he gets weird around him, and I just don't know how to.
Yeah, he breaks down crying.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the girls are awkward. Like, no, we did him too far. This is not fun anymore.
Yeah. Listen, less of that, please. Just be fun time nail painting.
Yeah. And you want guys to be sensitive until they're bawling and sobbing and needing emotional reassurance. I see how it is.
Yeah, well, it's like you said before. They're at that party, and he's talking about I don't know, every extreme women's rights. Like he's just, like they said, woke Timmy or whatever the hell his name is.
Yes.
And they're like, "Ooh, I like him." And so while they're playing Two Truths and a Lie, he does.
That's his way of explaining his situation. Yeah.
Right. Because he says that he's a virgin.
Yeah, that's one of his. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, get out of here.
And they look at each other like, well, we know you're not because it's all over your hair. So they're looking at each other. They have one of the truths, or they know that's not a lie because they've seen proof.
Mm-hmm.
And he cuts the corner and breaks down.
Yes.
I think this is all the same night where like he does this, they
Could be, yeah.
they play whatever the fuck everything, and then somehow the girls leave, then he leaves after them. Fuck. The middle just kind of blends together for me because it takes such a horrible turn.
At some point, Lily walks in on David and his man group. You said that they were trying to make him like Jordan Peterson, which that's basically his whole character. He holds like man conferences about, you know.
Yeah, David Duchovny is like Jordan Peterson for all intents and purposes. He's a dude who tours the world and gives these men need to be stronger type speeches.
And you think it's like a well-meaning, okay, well, you know, nobody's offering reassurance to like it's okay to be vulnerable, but you know, it's like an emotional thing. Well, but it turns out to be very literal about, you know, seizing power from the women who don't deserve it, kind of thing.
What did he say about the weakest person in the chain, or the weakest link? There's something he says about.
That's a Prince of Egypt line, isn't it?
What? There's something he says about them not being weak or whatever. This is after the big death.
Yeah. So Timmy is at school. They're like, "Oh, hey, everyone. So here's the thing." Timmy's
the next day,
Timmy's copped it. We think it's suicide, which, as you've said, it's way too early to call it. Like when my mother died, I, you know, got a phone call from the what was it, the mortuary home, and they were like, still inconclusive, but we'll let you know. And that was like a week afterwards.
Yeah. The police on a death, they make sure there's no foul play. Not only have they found out this kid's dead, the next night they know how he did it, and they're completely free to tell the entire school.
Yeah.
Without tact. Just he's dead. He killed himself.
Just no one affords Timmy the slightest bit of consent. It's just.
And now we're going to talk about the American Revolution.
Hey, that's how you kick off the school day, all right?
Did anybody facepalm when the black girl says she likes Beyonce? Oh my fucking God. That was an actual line.
Yeah, that was one of her 2 truths and a lie or something. Two lies and a truth? Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Her thing was she likes Beyonce.
Yeah. But that was a bit obvious. Like, oh, well, who doesn't like Beyonce? Ha, she's Queen Bee. She can walk on water.
That's what he said. It was just so cringy.
She has a line as well. They're talking about how they want to use their magic, and she says, well, I wish I had more black friends. Which, yeah, fair enough. But the Beyonce line was a bit...
Which, again, if they showed her dealing with the discomfort of being a black female in America, it would have been so much more powerful for her to have that. Like I said, the original craft, all 4 have their own little thing going on where you understand, like they take this path, and it's not like they're doing the right thing, but you understand how they get to that point. Here, it's just, I have firepower. I'm cool. We just need to make sure that all of us cover the same fucking bases that makes this a woke movie. Black girl, trans girl.
What's going on with Frankie? She's like the other one. What's her damage?
What, Frankie? Is that the
she wears a lot of animal print.
That's the one who's the tallest, should I say? No,
I think the tallest one is Lord. Yeah, according to this article, no, Frankie's the short one with the ponytail.
Oh, yeah, she's just zesty. I don't know. She's the voice of the group.
I guess. but they're all just being bullied for a reason. I don't know.
Oh,
Even when I was getting bullied, it was for a reason.
Felix says she says she likes Beyonce, but the truth was she loves Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that dickhead thing Simon Cowell always says. I didn't like that performance. I loved it.
Yeah.
For TV suspense.
Her problem is she's not pretty.
Is that it? She was fine.
Yeah, they really just cruise over everybody's thing. Anything that makes them special is just a footnote. Except for our girl Lily, who not only has the Force but joins them, and they now can form their Jedi X-Men cult. Excuse me.
The magic is fun in this one.
X-Force. Yeah, it's fun.
And it doesn't cost them anything to get it, and it has no minor consequences, except apparently because of this love spell, which inadvertently got Timmy killed.
Well, yeah, that's when the girls pull what's her tits aside and say, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, it's one thing to get a pizza for free, but you can't convert a gay guy back to, straight them.
Is it even implied that their spell affected his sexuality, or was it just supposed to make him more woke? It's not really clear, but apparently him being confused is what led to his suicide. So that's how they're thinking of it. But it's not very
suicide, because we do later find out that it wasn't a suicide.
That's right. At this point, they're just assuming that the love spell was the straw that broke the camel's back, I suppose.
Yeah. Because Lily casts a spell with his sweater or some shit, and she thinks that it worked.
And they go, "Do you think this is a game?" Which is quite hypocritical, to be honest.
As they stand on their Ouija board,
as they affect space-time. Stop doing that.
Yeah, we can only do this as a group, jerk. Listen, if you want to get a free pizza, that's one thing, but you can't make boys love you. That's bullshit. We're going.
So they kick her out of the friendship, and they bind themselves from doing magic with that ribbon thing, which again nicked from the original movie, kind of.
Oh, really? See, that's my interest.
She does a thing to try and stop the juggernaut that is Nancy. She's like, "I bind you from doing harm against others and against yourself." I don't know if it works, but they do basically the same thing, but on themselves, which it's reversible though, so it doesn't really do anything.
It's rather convenient how much they know and how easy it comes to them in this movie. There's no work done as far as what their powers are, how they get them, how they're so easy to undo them. Go ahead.
It's something I think that the filmmakers, they were trying to hit on something, which is like the fact that women have limitless potential and power cannot be the problem, because that's not very woke. So the magic's got to be good. The women, what the women are doing are good. That's fine. Women are never bitches. They never fuck up, and they never let the power go to their head. They're just super cool.
Yeah, even though they are kind of.
But that erases all of the kind of weight of the plot and any kind of narrative suspense, any interest.
There's nothing. There's no.
It's not earned, is it?
No. They take a hard left, and then it's. I mean, you said it first. It suddenly becomes Black Christmas 2019, and suddenly the villain is now David Duchovny and his uncombed hair.
I mean, if you want to make a good feminist movie, the women can be fallible. That's what made the original Mulan work. She struggles with her initial training. She has to overcome her laziness and the fact that she's not biologically advantaged. And she uses her wits to climb the pole, and that's the most important bit of the movie. And even though she's the weakest among them, she uses her smarts, which is something that helps her throughout the rest of the movie. She's a good military strategist. It's a journey. That's an Asian thing, overcoming adversity like that.
Was she Asian?
Mulan?
Oh, you're right.
Sorry, still talking about that, but you know what I mean. So I don't
Well,
know.
listen,
Just quite poorly handled.
we can only focus on so many SJW movies at once. And I'll say it again. If you're watching as the testosterone in the room, I really try my best to fight for movies where it doesn't seem like they're shoving a message down your throat.
Yes.
And there's all these clickbaity anti-Disney SJW dudes on YouTube that I think are pretty fucking disgusting. But when there are two extremes and both sides get so extreme, you make the other side of the argument have a point. And with this, again, within a year, this is very Black Christmassy, and none of it is.
Yeah,
there's nothing to it. There's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to dance carefully about my wording, but there's just it.
We appreciate the effort, to be a little more progressive and so on, but
mixed it in. At least in Invisible Man, it wasn't.
The
so
story should always come first, right? That's
yes,
rule one in writing anything.
Yes, you think.
Yeah.
Just write some biblical names and I don't know, just cut and paste from the news and change their names. All right, so we'll make Jordan Peterson David Duchovny, and we'll change his name right here. And Michelle Monaghan is a mother age now. Jesus.
So yeah, so I don't know quite how this gets introduced, but she finds adoption papers. Lily does.
Yeah.
Again, it seems to come out of fucking nowhere, but then
I think it's like part of the big third act twist.
Yeah.
Because this is late where she finds this out.
Yeah, and this is where I find out that, okay, it's a sequel because, Michelle Monaghan is not her real mother. Her real mother is, in a mental health institution.
Where Michelle Monaghan used to work. She was like
she's a psychiatrist, right?
Or something like that. She was Fairuza Balk's caretaker. I don't know.
Yeah. Something these movies never quite managed to reconcile is the, insane asylum trope. Like, obviously, way back when in The Craft, she was thrown in there to rot. And here in 2020, she's still fucking there. Like, okay, no rehab, no nothing. She's still in there. What?
And it's crazy.
In Joker, I mean, that's kind of a realistic universe, at least in the most recent iteration. But they still have the fucking insane asylum where Joker goes because he's criminally insane. To rot, that's, I don't know. It just doesn't feel quite right to me.
What's your point? I would say Joker's pretty heavy-handed too.
Well, I don't know. It seems an odd plot element is all. I don't know quite where I'm going with this. It's just
the craziness, the still being locked up.
Yeah, what did she do? Fairuza Balk. Nancy.
You're making me try to remember the original.
I mean, she's been in there like 20 goddamn years at this point, and she's not.
Didn't people die because of her in the OG Craft?
I don't remember. I think she flings one dude out of a windy, and
what's a windy?
A window, but make it Scottish. He flew out the windy,
and died. He died.
I think it's
so. Murder.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he was kind of a rapist.
Manslaughter, regardless. Two wrongs don't make a right. So that's why she's in non-jail. So there's your answer. Our country doesn't tolerate much of anything. So
fine, all right. Kimberly's saying a lot in the chat.
Yeah, Kimberly is certainly nothing is earned. That's the problem. These girls are just freaking dolls. Characters aren't a thing anymore. Neither are motivations or flaws. Shout out to Jay Longbone. My girl Nancy Downs didn't deserve this crap. It was rape, guys. It was rape. Makes no damn sense. Sarah binded her and her powers were taken when we last see her. She thought she was flying and still had powers in the asylum. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because neither one of us had watched the original Craft recently enough to...
Not in a while, no.
To pay this probably the right... Although you shouldn't need to see the original Craft because apparently this isn't.
Yeah, this is a soft reboot. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, if I were to, like, I'm going on what I remember of the original Craft. If I watched the original Craft and then watched this, I'd be angry. I'd be angry at this movie for just trying to cynically tie itself to it. Like, do your own fucking thing. Like, holy shit.
Mm. Yeah, that's a thing. I'm just getting despondent now. Okay, so adoption papers, it's kind of a big deal. And I suppose it comes out at this point that her real mother was a witch. Or was, yeah,
Her mother was a witch, right?
Yes.
Not Michelle Monaghan. And that's why, you know, she's so special. And that's why she bleeds so much, because all of the witches.
All that witchy goodness. So they have a funeral for Timmy.
Oh, right.
And there's some kind of mother-daughter conversation outside. And Mom's like, give your powers to me and I will take this burden from you.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, Mom. Really, that sounds suspicious.
Really weird. Like, it really just gets weird.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, Michelle Monaghan knows that if she gives her powers, her life will be a lot easier, and blah, 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 blah.
But then, like a Scooby-Doo villain, we take off the mask and it's like, David Duchovny, I knew it.
With terrible CGI, mind you. Yeah. Terrible CGI.
It was awful.
Yeah, so it turns out that David Duchovny was trying to get her powers all along.
Just can't get enough power.
Yeah.
It's not enough that you're physically stronger than all of womankind. You got to have all their witchiness too.
Yeah, and then he
has a whole speech about how, like, oh, you poor women, you don't know what to do with all this. Give it to someone who knows.
Yeah, like, essentially they square off. And
he starts mansplaining her witchiness. Essentially.
Yeah. So the other three have written Lily off because, you know, she used the power for bad and not good. Even though what they did was kind of the same shit, only 2 steps over.
Yeah. Raider says, you know what this movie needed? Nudity for no reason.
It certainly did. Yeah.
I wish I could summon Braggart. I wish she didn't take like an hour to make. And even overnight to do the hair. I wish she could just
stuck. Literally right behind you.
No reason nudity. Okay.
Yeah, so like that's the beginning of the third act. She's now squaring off with David Duchovny
in the woods.
They're having like this weird fucking mind.
Timmy deserved to die. He was
weak.
Bisexual.
He was weak, he said. He said he was too weak.
He was in your image. Whatever that means. You turned him into a woman, and that's embarrassing.
Oh, so Kimberly says it makes no sense because Nancy isn't a natural witch, and we were led to believe Nancy powers were taken. So Lily shouldn't have these powers at all, unless Manon. Oh,
Manon,
right.
Yes,
Manon.
The spooky dude. Yes, I forgot his name.
Fucking hell! They totally didn't even touch on that. Yeah, I'd be really angry.
It's like, just the power of candles in this one.
Yeah, candles and Ouija boards. Go invest. Capitalism. Right, Manon. Fuck. It makes me want to actually watch the original, maybe redo everything.
I remember that scene in the original where they're being harassed by some bar and then a car hits them. And then they're all like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I really wanted the car to hit him. And then did you feel it? And yet they're really excited about manslaughter.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's their descent into being really fucking gnarly. Nev Campbell gets a little too confident.
Yeah.
She gets that, I used to be really fat, but now I'm hot. So I'm just going to talk to everybody like they're shit. She becomes that girl. And, you know, it is, you know, there is a descent. There's something with these characters.
Rochelle makes the blonde girl's hair fall out. And she feels guilt, I suppose.
Right. So they're all going way too far. To be honest,
like, she was kind of justified.
Jesus
Blondie was a dick. So.
Yes, Emily. As far as films are concerned, she certainly deserved to have her hair fall out.
I mean, it could have gone much worse. She could have been turned gay. and died.
No, wait, she wasn't. No, wait, he wasn't turned gay.
No, I know, I'm exaggerating.
They pulled it out of him, and suddenly he was just, this is the way I am now, guys. Totally, my voice has changed, and my demeanor has changed, and now I'm totally sensitive. So, guys, this is the new me. Deal.
But then he dies.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the woods, right? David.
Well, Kimberly has another point. Kimberly might as well have joined us for this.
Yeah.
The world building and the environment were really, really rich. They were. It was quite vast, and
the weather was involved. There were storms.
Yeah,
and shit,
a movie that's 25 years old is got a lot more going on, and the CG.
You could feel the magic almost. It was just kind of like.
Yeah, you can understand why a bunch of my classmates back then decided to watch this movie and go to whatever our version of Hot Topic was back then, and really
Hot issue. If Maya Morkel has taught us anything, it was that back in the day when Tom Bombadil went to Hot Topic, it was called Hot Issue, but in the future they change it to Hot Topic. Which he knows.
Come on, you can't derail me.
I'm sorry. Those are my favorite videos of ours. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that original movie, like I said, Rocky is such a powerful story that you can understand why people want to take up boxing, and the character the story is really well told, and the characters fleshed out, and you're behind them. Same thing with The Craft. The world building's really well done.
Feeling magic within yourself, the solidarity of female covens. Whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. Not so in this film. It's just by the way, we have this book that we've been reading and cheating and trying to do it without a fourth.
And Manon doesn't like that.
Also, we have candles. I don't think they discuss Manon at all in this movie.
No, because no one to thank for their powers. Really, they're just
Why? Listen, why would they have somebody to thank? They could do it by themselves. Women joining together is all you need for strength.
Yeah, and David Duchovny hates that, and he wants to take it all for himself. And it would have made sense, Sarah or Bonnie being the mom.
Since Bonnie was going around a lot in the OG, we still have the issue of her father. We just need to see a continuation of the style of Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, is that
Cobra Kai is the extension? No, Cobra Kai is Karate Kid.
Oh, okay.
It's the bad guy dojo.
Okay.
Of the Karate Kid, and now they're doing it all these years later as a television series. I don't think you've seen the Karate Kid, so
I saw it, but I was like 10.
All right, so none of this is worth anything to you, so just let it fly. He just gets a mention as David as Zoe Lister-Jones didn't like Manon in the OG film. Well, that's
because he was a male presence. So, I don't know. Like, that's just a guess.
I hope not.
Because Manon was specifically stated to be male, right? And he would gift them powers if they.
If I recall correctly, yeah. And what like you said, why would they have to answer to a man figure? 4 women, 3 are not enough, and 5 are too many. Yeah. 4 and 1 gay guy, too much too. Just 4 women only.
That is a cute dog, by the way.
I think that's Felix's dog.
Oh,
Felix has a couple of dogs, I think.
He's so patriotic. I don't even know if Manon is a real thing. If there are any Wiccans, pagans in the chat, just curious. Because if he doesn't exist, I'm wondering why make him specifically a dude in the OG craft. That's all.
Why does it matter? Like that's
I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Like,
but in this movie, it matters to such a degree that they didn't include him. So.
Yeah, because it's a man. They took Manon, fucking threw it away, and
be woman on.
And now we're and David Duchovny is now David Peterson. Wait, Jordan
Peterson, yeah, mixing them up.
And they have this head-to-head in the woods. Except it's her by herself, and she really needs help because David Duchovny's too strong, or you know, the only way we're going to beat this guy is if the women rejoin forces and stand in a circle.
They hear that she's in trouble or something, and they unbind themselves. So that was significant that they bound themselves.
Yeah, Deus Witchina. I don't know.
It's like Lent, basically. You're just putting restrictions on yourself, but it's fine. You can pick it up if you need to.
Do it like that. Yeah, don't they like telekinesis?
Telepathically, they must do.
Yeah, and then suddenly they show up.
They're like north, east, south, and
then they stand in a circle around David Duchovny's character, and fire. Beavis shows up again.
Beavis?
Yeah, Beavis. Oh, Beavis and Butthead. Way over your head. You're way too young. So this is Beavis. People
in this movie, I don't remember.
No. Felix will get it. That's all that matters.
Okay. Good for Felix.
So they stand in a circle and I don't know. They do the abridged version of all their spells.
Yep.
And defeat David Duchovny with fire.
And thus the patriarchy was defeated forever.
Yeah.
You know, it's occurred to me that Jordan Peterson, he's a subtle kind of evil, I suppose. Like, they could have modeled this guy on Alex Jones and didn't. If they wanted to go even
too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cuts so many corners and just really Cliff's notes so much. It's really frustrating. And again, I don't know what the fuck is going on, because there was the thing we weren't allowed to watch, which all we knew it as was feminist horror. So Run, Sweetheart, Run, which is another Blumhouse.
I was going to say Run, Fat Boy, Run. That's not.
That's a
different film.
Simon Pegg movie.
It's a good one.
It's okay.
It's not like
inconsequential.
Okay, moving on.
So this other movie, this Run, Sweetheart, Run, is another feminist-driven movie by Blumhouse. So I don't know what it is about the Blumhouse brand and capitalizing on SJW fucking woke.
Is this like a really long game thing by the Hollywood movie-making man cult to make people just totally give up on feminist movies at all? Like, to make us groan audibly at the idea of one?
If it is, Jason Blum is taking it all on the chin, and he's doing a fantastic job. Because again, Invisible Man, another remake, not nearly as offensively empty as these other two movies, but The Craft Legacy is just as cynical and empty and corner cutty as Black Christmas 2019. And the unfortunate part is Black Christmas was shit from the start. Like, it was just dog shit, and you saw it like right there, right on Jump Street. You were just like, oh no.
Yeah.
This isn't, no.
It's like you doing the Death Nut challenge immediately.
Just no, stupid.
No.
But The Craft Legacy,
it's gradual descent into disappointment.
Right. Yeah. It opens as something that's just okay. Like I said,
you were skeptical about the mom genes, but apart from that,
yeah.
That's just a red flag now.
And once again, blonde hair, blue-eyed girls who act like Barbie, and likewise Ken, bad people. if you are,
unless it's Happy Death Day, I suppose.
that is a different series.
Yeah.
Different. Oh wait, that is Blumhouse though, so maybe that does count. The nature in which they're capitalizing on different people, overturning the patriarchy is really I don't underwhelming.
If it were only that simple, if it was just a man cult that we could explode with our brains, but it don't work like that.
I just earn it. Listen, I've said it 1,000 times. If you show me a movie where the story's good enough that I'll hate myself, awesome. I'll hate myself, but get me there. They just cut every fucking corner, and it's just he's just gay because we need to have a gay. I mean, it's so strange how quickly this movie goes from just like a harmless Twilighty teen young adult thing, and then takes a left and really just gets offensive to anybody who has, I don't know, a thought that wanders past, surface level.
Yeah. It's kind of, this film does not really reward repeated viewings either.
I can't imagine that.
No,
yeah. Again, I can't speak to that, but I remember having.
We certainly don't care about the characters that much.
I do remember. No. I remember friends of mine in school that watched The Craft quite semi-religiously. But I again, this is another thing that we've talked about on Show Business. We have no way to judge if it's working or not, because we're way too old to be the target audience. Even you, I think, are a little too old now to be
probably
considered the target audience. So, I mean, this could be a hit as far as a 14-year-old girl in America.
Who doesn't know any better. Yeah, this is, I don't know, this is conditioning girls to not expect that much from their movies. That's kind of a shame.
Yeah, and it's all message, and it's going too far in the other direction. When people like I don't know, geeks and gamers, if I'm irrationally generalizing, apologies, but Geeks and Gamers is one of the Quartering, those types of channels always seem to capitalize on these SJW woke messages. And they always seem to, laugh and be there ready to talk about how much Disney fucked up. You're giving them a reason to with stuff like this. And I can't help but say, well, I'm on your side, but you're making it very easy for them. And I appreciate you saying nothing as the female in the outfit.
I'm sorry. I'm just kind of agreeing with you here, dude.
Yeah. I wish you said all that shit, because I'm just mansplaining it, apparently.
No, but we agree, right? I'm not so... I can let my husband speak for me sometimes. I feel like I'm a really bad feminist. I read posts saying, I'm a woman, and when I go take my car to the mechanic, he talks to my husband, and that annoys me. Or he talks to me like I don't know what a computer does. Oh, what color do you want it? And I'm over here okay, well, I don't know how a computer works, or how to drive a car, or how to, pay a gas bill or anything like that. Shit, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll go back to folding some sheets or something.
I think, and this kind of is, Hollywood's guilty of this on so many fronts. They don't respect their audience when it comes to dumb action movies. They think the average moviegoer is fucking stupid, and don't give any credit to a viewing audience, and just give us the most watered down bullshit.
Example?
Oh,
Like that's Terminator movie recently, or like?
well, that Terminator movie felt like a
That was also kind of a message movie.
trying to squeeze something into something that already had a strong female. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, if you talk about, listen, we need to have a character that women can look to as a strong role model. You had it, Sarah Connor. Hey, take 2 steps over in the other aisle. There's Alien, which Ripley is a very, very strong, very much admirable character.
I mean, they brought Sarah Connor back, but she's a grizzled, tough girl granny now. Same with Jamie Lee Curtis in the Halloween franchise, I guess. Like, no one's creating new strong females. They're like, all right, back to the well, I suppose.
Because they can't. Because they're just so, you know, to the finish line. They don't want to. They don't want to do the heavy lifting with these characters. It's just, it's, you know, it's so depressing. And I'm not a female. Like, I don't care. Mulan evidently was terrible for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
That was a character that just had power.
Yeah. Well, we could talk for another hour.
Yeah, that could be a completely different stream.
Yeah. We may have missed the, I don't know, the mark on that, but not the mark. You know, it's not a trend anymore. It's not trending on Twitter.
Oh!
We could still talk about it. What?
Right. What was the point of the Polaroid camera and Lily liking to take photographs?
Aesthetic.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah. Yeah, she's into Polaroids because, you know, that's the cool thing on
it's set in modern day, right? They have modern phones and yeah.
Yeah. But she just, you know,
Polaroid doesn't exist anymore, does it?
They don't make fucking film for them anymore. So how the fuck is she getting new film?
I remember mine. It was like 10 quid for a roll of 10 photographs.
Yeah,
that was it.
You're paying like $1 a shot.
Yeah. And most of mine was shit.
Yeah. So this girl's like,
money well spent.
Here's a picture of a dead bee in the driveway and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, good writing should come before representation. Once is enough for me. I just saw the OG for the first time this year. Huh. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Felix. Yep. Sorry, Tim. You're absolutely right. I should stop speaking for my wife. Toxic masculinity. Yeah, that's certainly.
That's the feature of the film, I suppose.
Yeah, that it could be titled toxic masculinity, which the horror genre, which I don't know if you can consider this horror. It's really not. It's just a.
Mm-hmm. If the original Craft came out today, it wouldn't be called anti-woman, I don't think.
It would just be the Craft. It would be something that wins people over, something that they lean to.
Yeah.
It's so strange that modern day messaging, and you know, again, I hate this. We don't need, you know, just make a good story. Just make a good story. You have your modern day messaging, and it just so happens that something that helps today was made 25 years ago. Just take that thing and show it to somebody today. Mm-hmm. You know, we have VCRs, we have DVD players, we have Blu-ray players, we have Amazon. Like it's as easy as ever to get a hold of older films. Yet people want to cynically redo it and cut corners.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's ever a genre that does not need strong women, it's horror. Horror, as much as you would like to...
It pretty much abounds with strong, or at least Final Girls.
Right, so Final Girls do not...
They're not quite synonyms, but, you know...
Yeah, so the difference is... whether
or not they survive by process of elimination or by the, you know, their smarts and their...
Well, the only difference I would say about a Final Girl in horror in general is they are probably looked at with a male gaze. That's probably an issue that I would say.
Even Ripley was, you know, walking around in her underpants.
Panties at the end of Alien.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't remember that. What are you talking about?
It was hot in the
Just
pod
for
thing.
no reason. Here's Sigourney Weaver in panties, and we're going to be at a low angle. So, ta-da!
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's anything, and there's no chance that women were viewed in a male gaze. It's just strange. I've always talked about the counter to that. You know, movies geared towards women where it's the opposite. You know, you're kind of oogling boys, and they're there for eye candy. They don't do that. Do you know who does do that? Gay guys in Hollywood. They'll view men with the female gaze, but usually Jeepers Creepers 2. If you'd like to look at boys with their shirts off and their shit kind of tight, Jeepers Creepers 2, directed by a very, very controversial,
very problematic. Yeah, a rapist, pretty much.
Stuff directed by Bryan Singer, another rather controversial figure. A lot of stuff. Anytime you see males and presented in the male gaze, it usually, I'm not saying specifically, you know, absolutely, but if I think it, first thing that comes to mind.
So Rantasmo has a really interesting video about the male gaze, and Rantasmo, he has a thing on YouTube, Needs More Gay, where he dissects popular culture, you know, specifically from a queer point of view. So the male gaze, quite prevalent, obviously. We don't see a lot of shirtless dudes from that perspective. Sometimes, like in a movie like Thor, we'll see, you know, someone who's got kind of a figure, Thor himself. But usually it's a woman looking at him, and any who's watching are not supposed to think, that is a sexy guy. They're supposed to think, wow, that guy's got some nice abs. I wonder where I wonder how I can get those abs. It's a different thing.
Can you shimmy to your...
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a distinctly heterosexual thing, and when it is more kind of a gay male gaze, as you said, like in Jeepers Creepers 2, like in what else comes to mind? Fucking Howden, I suppose, same director. Like, that was definitely that's a movie.
Yeah. The point is, whenever you think of the straight female counter to a cynical male popcorn movie, there just isn't that being made. You could probably say jokingly, and you know, ironically so, action movies from the 80s where just Schwarzenegger with his shirt off and greasy Stallone. A lot of those movies are just accidentally,
yes, I'm sure it happens,
gay, if anything. But
so
I don't know.
A movie like this, Craft Legacy, I would argue there's next to no gays happening,
right,
for the males or the females, and maybe that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Gays,
yes, G-A-Z-E.
Yeah, not homosexuals, because there is gays in this movie. So
he's bisexual. He made a speech.
Well, whatever.
Right. So
yeah, there's no.
Is it necessarily a bad thing if there's no gays happening? If there's
there's not a bad thing. It's just strange that
if you're a teenage girl watching that, you're like, there's no tits in this. That girl looks like me.
Yeah, there is sort of that in the Twilight series, which is...
That's got its fair share of glittering torsos, though.
Well, even Jacob, the wolf boy, is well cut.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the bulk of his audition. Just, all right, shirt off, please.
Well, yeah, and again, this is kind of cynically so, but him
Have you seen Taylor Lautner lately?
No.
He's filled out a lot. He looks a lot happier these days.
Happier.
But he does. Like, maintaining that figure's got to be really stressful.
His whole group is topless. That whole werewolf.
The werewolves, yeah, because you know, you explode into a wolf, you're going to lose your clothes.
You need to run around like Hulk for the rest of the series. But that's going back 10 years ago now. Man, I feel like culture, pop culture, everything. But 5 years ago, it may as well have been a millennia ago with the way things are in film, at least.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird that we get all these feminist, progressive message movies, and then something like Cuties comes out. And
can't wait to get that video up.
Oh, we're just ogling the children now. I understand.
And that thing is, what's funny is everybody's pissed off about Cuties, and the Cuties thing has a fucking message. People are pissed off about the
absolutely.
thing.
They just dropped the ball is the thing.
I don't think so. Listen,
you can make a message about how fucked up it is that even 12-year-olds have to consider their femininity, like sexualization at that stage, without necessarily showing us their crotches. I don't know.
You're right. You're absolutely right. They didn't have to go to the steps they did, but the film didn't start at that level neither.
No.
They are doing that. This is one of those Who Would Like That movies where they went a little too far to pass their message. But the message,
I'm sorry.
The message essentially is you fucking people are creating these kids.
Yes.
Not, man.
It's hypocritical, right?
Yeah. So and we do have people in that movie, Cuties, where, you know, you as an audience member can view the whole series of events as a third party.
So I wonder if they were going for like a theater thing of like, you're supposed to feel like gross right now. Don't you feel gross? Don't you feel like a pedophile?
Absolutely.
But the problem is, I'm sure some people are watching that and not feeling gross. But
the message of the movie is that, you know, modern day pop culture, modern day parenting is creating extremely sexualized kids way too soon. Because there are people and other characters in the movie that look at these girls through the side of their eye. And they're the only ones that dress like that. They're the only ones who dance like that. They're the
what a bunch of freaks.
Yeah, right. But people aren't getting that message. They're just getting how dare this movie show girls dancing around provocatively, which, yes, perhaps this movie went too far to pass their message and lost people in the shuffle. Like a Serbian film, as horrible as I could say. A Serbian film has a message. They just go way too far to prove their point.
Yeah, some people would argue like the message or bullshit.
Yeah, right. So, and to get to the polar opposite, this movie's just message without showing you anything. It's just here, fuck men, dinner at 9.
So, I'm getting blurry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, we have yet to find some kind of middle ground with this.
Yeah, movies that already exist, it seems.
Yeah, woke is kind of a dirty word now, but you know, a movie that can be morally, ethically conscious, whatever, without bludgeoning you over the head with it.
See, it's strange. I hate saying this as a white straight man. I hate saying this because I have no voice as far as this topic is concerned. But
I mean, you're arguably the target audience for most cinema. So
right. So I shouldn't complain. But the audience that you're targeting now has grown up with everything that existed before and got to where they are.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't need something completely on the nose because they've gotten to where they are without whatever it is you're trying to introduce, and maybe go back and look at things in the past and cherry pick certain elements of that. But that would be, you know, doing some work and not being cynical, not taking a name and fucking twisting it and saying, "Oh, this is here it's Major League, but it's all fucking females now." And I don't know.
Yeah,
because women can play baseball.
Man, I don't know if we've cracked a joke in the last 20 minutes. This has just been
a league of their own. I just countered my own fucking joke. A league of their own. Very, very strong message. And it's a great story. It's a great movie. A League of Their Own. Nothing but women.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I saw with you sometime this year. It ends with them as old ladies and they're reminiscing fondly.
Oh, you have seen that, yeah. Shit.
Yeah. What's her face is in it?
Gina Davis?
Not just Gina Davis. I wanted to say Jessica Lange for some reason.
No. Gina Davis. And she does look like Jessica Lange as the older one, though. I'll give you that. When she's older, she does look like Jessica Lange a bit. Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, a slew of others.
Yes.
Tom Hanks. That was a brilliant movie, directed by a female. The movie's 29 years old. What the fuck is your argument?
Yeah. I don't have.
Yeah. Anywho, so Kimberly, once again, the third wheel in this outfit. I don't freaking need a feminist message in my films. I feel like I was being preached to during the entire 90 minutes of Legacy. I love the main female character in Prometheus, but died. So right, Prometheus. They didn't. It wasn't. That was a movie about belief. It wasn't about sex at all. At all. And then Alien Covenant comes along and becomes a horror movie for some reason. They need to fuck in a shower, whatever.
That was like at the very end.
Yeah. It got really weird and cynical towards the end. Another franchise where the female character could come back, Jess from the Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, she was.
I remember her.
Yeah, she was the one who could. Another one who could had power.
That was just an interesting. Like it's a horror movie, but we're following a brother and sister. There's no fucking romantic tension. Nobody.
Yeah, God forbid.
Yeah, like it's a brother and sister being kind of jerkasses to each other, but they have a really strong bond, and they. I miss that. More of that.
Right. Those crotch shots and that marketing from Netflix. Yeah.
I should say I haven't seen the movie. I don't really want to. I think you're allowed to disapprove without having to see it.
I have watched it. I do have a video coming up. I just need to edit it.
Okay.
It's in the can. I just need to get to it. There is a Who Would Like That where I talk about cuties. So if you're watching this in the future, it might already be in my channel. But I'll talk about that much further. That's completely different. It's not nearly as offensive and empty as this movie is. They had a message they tried way too hard and showed way too much. This is quite the opposite. This tried to cut corners. Cuties was original French film, bought, dubbed, and shown here. Of course, it's going to be risque. Yeah,
that's an argument I hear a lot, that it's just European, you don't get it. I think even for a French audience, it's a little bit out there.
Well, anytime, like my list of movies that I have for Who Would Like That, the most infamous of movies, most of them come from France. So
of course, there's a branch of French extremist cinema that doesn't really fall under that umbrella, I feel.
Well, okay, it's
we can argue, but
yeah. I'm so tired of checking a box stuff. There's no crying in baseball. Yeah, a great movie that not once during the entirety of the runtime of A League of Their Own did I feel like, men are fucking terrible. Women need to just, yeah, man, rawr, women. It was just a good movie with a fucking ton of females that had a decent enough fucking message. Shit, man, men are off at war, and this is what we did while the men were away, and God damn it.
Yeah.
Yes. Another point by Kimberly. French horror has great female characters.
Seems to be.
Pauchy. Martyrs is certainly one that has.
I like that you took a French word touche and you said it wrong. Right. So unless anybody has anything else to talk about in the chat. I think we covered most everything about the craft. Like, we didn't cover the very, very ending, but just meets her mother, and
her mother is Fairuza Balk and her character.
They don't really exchange words. I don't know if Kimberly might have said earlier in the chat that Fairuza didn't really care to be in the movie, or that she wasn't going to watch it or be in any future films.
Oh, is that accurate?
I don't know. I really should have done my homework before I came on this.
See, so Fairuza Balk in the Craft Legacy is what Luke Skywalker is to The Force Awakens without all the setup.
Mm.
Throughout The Force Awakens, they're talking about we have a map. We're going to get to Luke Skywalker, and then he turns around and that's it. End of movie. Come back next time. This movie is just oh, by the way, you have a mother. Here she is. Poof. There she is.
It was like Blade Runner 2049, but without the emotional investment.
Oh, you're talking about a parallel to Harrison.
Yeah, when he goes to meet his child eventually.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Like, we barely see them exchange words either, but it means something. You know,
right.
We get it.
Yeah.
Not so much so in this. It's like, okay, hi, Mom. I guess we have some stuff to discuss.
Yeah.
But,
come back next time.
Yeah. I don't see another movie coming out of this.
Apparently, Zoe Lister.
I'm sure they'll squeeze it if they squeeze it hard enough.
But... apparently, she has a script ready.
Mm.
Let me make sure I have the name right. Zoe Lister Jones, a female who's about my age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, I can't speak on everybody's behalf that are my age or from my era, but apparently people that are around my age and not my sex are thinking like this enough to make movies like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's working. I don't know who needs this and wants more of this, because the backlash for Black Christmas was pretty fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We really have to invest in asking the downstairs neighbor what our choice in movies are, because that's the only access we have to target audience.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right, that's something to do tomorrow.
I'd kill for a man and woman to fight side by side, no harm. Ooh, good call. She says, "How can I help you?" That's it. One damn line. Yep.
A customer service voice.
Lily reminded me of the Robin Tunney character more.
Yeah,
well, she was supposed to be, wasn't she?
I mean, she even looked a bit like her, but from End of Days. You know, when she has the short hair there.
Or Empire Records,
which I haven't seen.
When she shaves her head.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the, I guess, for anybody who is invested in the original Craft, the twist to you thinking that the twist was going to be that she was Robin Tunney's daughter. No.
You know what's a really good feminist movie that's just occurred to me? Like G.I. Jane. Obviously, that's about a woman making a space for herself in a male-dominated environment. Mm-hmm. Fighting for her country, but she also butts heads with the woman who made it happen in the first place, who's in it for her own selfish reasons, and she has solidarity with her male, a fellow compadres, whatever. So it's not like demonizing one sex over the other. It's a pretty decent fucking movie, and yes, she does the whole head shaving thing to symbolize eschewing her, I don't know, her femininity or just
sure.
The thing that's holding her back physically.
And again, a movie that's 20 years old, at least.
Yes.
So
mm-hmm.
we already have stuff like this that is empowering and I don't know, something positive to look to.
Yeah.
I said earlier in the chat about Balk and Blum approaching her about a Craft film. Blum approached Balk, huh?
Mm. Yeah. I see. Well then,
she was 14 when the OG Craft came out. Are we talking about Zoe Lister Jones? Complete target audience then.
Yeah.
Empire Records is a modern retelling of Die Hard.
In that case, I'm not going to like it.
Ben Grimm, good point. Your next, very good movie, very good horror movie, takes the slasher trope, twists it. And we really have quite a strong female character.
I'll have to see it. It came out when I was in university.
Yeah,
I'm seeing posters and shit.
Oddly enough, I don't think I own that. That's one of the few from the last 10 years that I don't own for some stupid reason.
Well, we'll get it in one night and we'll get some popcorn and watch it.
Well, I mean, my uncle definitely has it, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
A female character that was awesome? Seagal from Seagal. Shit, I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Seagal? I don't know.
From An Officer and Gentleman from the 80s or something. That's Deborah Winger and Richard Gere. I've seen it from forever ago, but don't remember their names. I certainly don't remember how to pronounce it.
That's the one where he, with the ending scene, you know, the bridal carry thingy.
Yeah. Yeah. You're next, and Would You Rather are awesome. I haven't seen Would You Rather.
Would You Rather is about a bunch of people who are trapped by this dude, and he's like, would you rather do this or be electrocuted? You know, it's like it's Saw-ish, but not really.
Oh, okay.
And the dad from Home Alone is in it, and Crabman from My Name Is Earl, to name a few.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just funny that Hollywood is so cynically looking at these different categories of people and just trying to capitalize and cut corners and not really do any work. Nobody's trying to make quality films. They're just trying to they're just trying to do Back to the Future, but it's a girl.
It's a pity.
Yeah, she's gonna go back in time and make sure that women can vote in the 1700s, because Back to the Future, it's girls.
What do we do to fix this? Can we just not show up to these movies so they'll stop subsidizing them? Because I feel like everyone feels like they have to go, so they have their take on it. But we're giving them money essentially.
See, us being in the commentary sphere, we kind of have to. It's the new hot take. So
sure, critics, we have a job to but I mean the general public, like
it's bad. I don't think it's being well received. Let me see what other people in the Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see.
Can I be back in a minute? I have to use the bathroom.
All that drinking, yeah. Go ahead. So I'm getting the score for Craft Legacy from Rotten Tomatoes. The also dependable Rotten Tomatoes and their score. 46% from critics, and I use that term loosely. Audience score 36. You might as well blend those two. Meet it in the middle. Call it a 40. That's not good. Am I the only one that thinks Sidney Prescott from Scream's a weak final girl? No, you don't. You're not the only one. We are Americans, so stupid, so too stupid to catch on subtly. Yeah, evidently. It's funny. It's funny how woke Hollywood wants to shove their message down our throat, but we're too smart to take something and have it be subtext. It's got to be just fucking floating and growing on the surface. I'm not sure Blumhouse anymore or what they're doing. I, for one, don't want the third film. Leave it to the true fans to write one. Apparently she was a true fan, right? Chris Stuckman gave it a D-. Variety didn't like it. So to get my Brie Larson on, let me see what female critics had to say. Allison Wilmore of New York Magazine. The biggest disappointments of the Craft Legacy stem from it starting off so promisingly, using elements from its source material while heading somewhere unpredictable. I could not agree more. It starts off promisingly. I wouldn't say strongly, but it kind of takes a left-hand turn and just gets worse and worse and worse from there. Richard Roper gave it a positive score. It's smart, edgy, wickedly funny. Who the fuck are you talking about?
When?
Yeah. And the wild ride from the talented writer-director Zoe Lister-Jones. Send me my check now. Kristen Maldonado, or Maldonado, however you want to read it. We got a splat. I just felt like the script was really weak. There wasn't a lot going on, and there wasn't a lot of character development. I don't think that was the project that I can necessarily recommend, even though I would be curious to see another film. You dick. Why open that door? Carla Renata of the Curvy Film Critic gives it a positive score. Gets a facelift. The Craft gets a facelift with a fresh script from Zoe Lister-Jones with bullying and LGBTQ themes and leads. Loved it. Especially that end surprise. Hashtag Craft movie, hashtag Blumhouse Productions. Well, thank God you hashtag Blumhouse Productions, because that makes me think it was a...
Hey, Jason. Hey,
Yeah,
you like me?
Fucking critic. Christ almighty.
Well, I'm glad people are enjoying it.
I'm not saying that because I'm reading Rotten Tomato scores that is anyway an authority. Those are just voices that are critiquing. Most of them are not professional, nor are they schooled in film theory. I want to make that clear. Rotten Tomatoes is getting less and less authentic. I have a 3/4 film school degree. I don't think I have enough knowledge to be critiquing film. And you don't see my name on Rotten Tomatoes, so there's that. I didn't laugh except when it was cringy as fuck. I hope Walt got a damn good paycheck because she carried this film.
Wow.
That's all it takes these days. LGBTQ themes and bullying.
I mean, that's basically it, chapter 2. And there's a clown.
And that sucked too.
Yeah.
Well, like, exactly, like, can you make a movie?
Bill Hader, yes, but everything else.
Bill Hader was like kind of closeted though too. Like, you never really...
Well, I made a whole video about that for my Patreon, which...
Yeah, pay money. That's a video that cost money over on Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. Don't you dare squeeze out another word.
I mean, I could, but yeah, that film had mahoosive queer themes. Put it that way. I'm using queer in the academic sense. I hope no one takes it as a slur. It's not meant like that.
You as a LGBTQ.
What, all at once? Yeah, I'm not straight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for you to, whatever. Rotten Tomatoes can be 80% critics giving a movie B-, and people think it's 80% good. Yeah, right. I don't know what Roger Ebert would have thought of this movie. Roger
Ebert got it wrong sometimes.
Well, he still would have hated this movie.
Oh, sure. What would he have said? Vapid.
That's what I mean. I hate to kind of cherry pick and jump on what you just said, but that's what it is. It's vapid. It's vapid. It's cynical. Heavy-handed. Here's a message, girls. Let's make sure we have one from every denomination. All right, now we're going to make the boy gay, because covering all the bases, checking all the boxes, done.
I mean, if a teenage girl enjoys this and finds it empowering, and I don't think it's harmful per se, but it's not great. I don't know. Like, it's hard to know how to come down on this film, because it's endemic of a more general problem. On its own, it's just kind of not a great send up to the craft.
Right.
Ironically, the legacy is kind of...
which The Craft, I don't think was a movie that was tremendously successful. So there's that. It's not like it's I don't know.
Yeah. I recommend Lindsay Ellis's video on it if you can find it. It's very good.
The Craft was never really about girl power, in my opinion. A tweet on Twitter said it best. Also, the powers and tricks they show were lame. Indeed, Ben. Absolutely.
They stopped time.
And Cecil, again, how is there absolutely zero conflict amongst a group of girls? That's more unrealistic than witchcraft.
That's true. Teenage girls are bitches.
Oh, yeah. They had that little fight where they were like, you can't.
You killed a man.
Yeah. We're not talking to you anymore. You could use the power to get yourself a soda. That's it. Rawr.
That's what you'd use it for. Oh,
Fuck
good,
yeah.
another soda.
Yeah. Vanilla Coke.
People working at the Coke warehouse, like, what? Where are these pallets gone? I don't.
Yeah, I just like fucking force drag them over to the house. Like one just makes the water of a bath glow. Yeah, listen, sometimes you need to bathe in sparkly water. That looks like my color theme is.
I bet Hot Topic has one of those. Oh, it's a witchy bath bomb. It's got petals in it and shit, and it will
just totally
it will
capitalize
center your yang, which is something you can quantify.
Yeah, it's just capitalizing on cynical fucking buy candles, buy official brand Ouija board.
The Luigi board?
Ouija board, Wega board, pulse up. Yeah, it just feels like I could only imagine there being a Craft Legacy official Ouija board.
Mm-hmm.
Legacy just isn't realistic because teen girls are selfish. They wouldn't care about the good of the world whatsoever.
That's kind of the point of the original, isn't it?
Right. So again, I say, if you want something like if you want the ballpark of this movie, don't watch this movie. Go watch The Craft from 1996. You'll have a much better time.
Oh, we're just 1 minute over 2 hours.
Darn.
Look at that.
Well, for those of you watching, if I edit it down, it'll be a little bit more condensed for.
Just get rid of 2 minutes.
Secondhand. Well, I'll get it under 2 hours.
Yeah.
How many?
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we've gone past the length of the film.
Yes.
Did you score it? What is the numerical value of this film as far as you're concerned?
Me, I'd probably give it like 4.5, 5.
Out of 10.
Yeah. Not out of 5. Jesus.
So that's 2.5. 2.25, 2.5 out of 5. And I think I gave it a 1 out of 5.
Okay, so you were really disappointed.
I'm gonna give it 1.5. I don't know. 2020's been a really weird and underperforming year. You know, it just there's just not a lot of content out there. So I don't know if this can't be the worst thing I've seen this year. It doesn't really, like, you know, when we left.
I mean, the Bill and Ted thing was kind of.
No, Bill and Ted, it was nowhere near
disappointing. It wasn't god awful. It wasn't insulting.
Yeah.
Depending, except for that one robot guy.
Oh, yeah. Dennis McCoy.
Yeah.
The Grudge I have is worse. The Truth I have is worse.
I haven't seen that one.
The Rape of Two Corys. Holy fuck. That's awful.
Well then.
Yeah.
So that's where the bar is, I guess, those movies.
Yeah. So yeah, what's me? It says I never really thought the OG was really a classic, so expectations were low. Still, it was a letdown. Thanks. I really recommend The Empty Man. That's right now, that movie, isn't it?
Might give it a look.
In theaters, but your uncle has it. Thank you, Ben. Good to know. Thinking about my uncle. I'll send you a tweet about what The Craft should be about CP and what Legacy got wrong. Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Thank you for all your contributions, Kim.
Yes. Another key contributor to the discussion. Certainly, there was so many points and bullet points that Kimberly was providing.
Yes.
Felix says, I disliked the original, so this one could only be better. And Felix gave it a fairly positive score, too. I think it's 6 out of 10, right?
Yeah, that's
above average. That's above boring, at least I would say. Just 5.
I'm glad you got more enjoyment out of it than we did.
Yeah, and that also needs to be said. Don't take somebody's opinion as gospel. If you know of stuff like this and like, oh, actually, I prefer that, go watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
There's certainly things that everybody is different. That's the problem. Everybody's
Why does
different.
everyone have to be different?
Everybody's different. Everybody's taste is different. You just have to try and not be so fucking cynical and cut corners. You're going to have to make a good movie first and then worry about the rest later. Jerks.
All right, so we've given our scores. I think that's...
Is it really woke and heavy-handed as they say? Sorry, I just got here if you already covered it. Yeah. Well, Emily, please, as the female in the group, please take it away and just summarize as far as anything but the film is concerned.
Well, we've been here for 2 hours. These headphones are starting to give me a headache, but I will say the film does... It's more about this... I don't know. I'm kind of frazzled. That it's quite message heavy, more so than the original movie. It's less really about the characters, although if you feel different, that's obviously fine.
Yeah.
To us, it felt it was really trying to push the wokeness a fair bit. It wasn't nearly as bad as Black Christmas, but it was
not nearly as bad, but in the same batch. Kimberly just said, I thought it was. The movie's going to be so dated. Yeah, we're going to look back in 10 years at like these. There's like a little group of movies from 2017 to now-ish, and they're going to look so fucking dated. Like, oh, remember when everybody was just trying to fucking heavy hand, short fist, just how great women are, and just anti-man, anti-white man,
like a time capsule.
Yeah. It's going to be really dated because it's not about the story. It's about the message.
I mean, a lot of good films are dated too. Like,
sure,
American Psycho is just very 80s.
Well, it came out in 2000 and was about the 80s, so.
All right, maybe that was on purpose then. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Like,
sure. Jawbreaker is my favorite female empowerment film. I've
seen that. That's got kind of a Mean Girls thing going on, but a girl. Do you know the premise of that one?
Yeah. I've seen it forever.
You've seen it too. Okay,
it's like Heathers. It's
it's
that generation's Heathers. Where Thoroughbreds is this generation's Heathers.
Yeah, it's kind of accurate.
Although Thoroughbreds is a bit more snooty, not quite as mainstream. Yeah. So go on. You're going to talk about Jawbreaker.
From what I remember, and I saw this when I was 19-ish. It was pretty good, entertaining at least. It was better than a couple. Me and my friends were. We had a short-lived film night thing. So Jawbreaker was one of the things we watched. The Moth Diaries was another. Moth Diaries were just kind of crap, but yeah, it was fine. I wouldn't put it up there with like Romy and Michelle or anything, but fairly decent.
So I have to admit, I was just here because I randomly caught a very touching video, CP openly talking about PTSD and agoraphobia that really resonated with me. I felt understood. Thank you for openly talking about those things. Watching the channel since, lots of interesting content. Greetings from Europe. Thank you, Simon. Yeah, it's hard. We'll skate on that. Hang around. I try not to be so personal and stuff, but I am somebody who, yes, is currently prescribed 4 medications for my brain, suffering through many different things, clinical depression being the tip of the iceberg. But I exist. I don't need a movie made to speak to me. Hopefully we could just talk, and yeah, it's nice to know that I appreciate you appreciating me being so open. Yeah, it's a shame. Now, I wonder if a fan writes a continuation of the OG craft, if Balk would be interested in the main character and supporting a new generation in LA at the same Catholic school.
I don't know. I don't know much about Balk in her regular life. She's still getting work aside from this?
Wait.
That beeping, I don't know what it was.
That's our house.
I think it's the neighbors.
It's still our house. Was it a fire alarm?
I heard him downstairs saying, "I'm sorry," so I presume it's sorted now.
Christ, we gotta get insurance.
Mm.
Fuck.
Remember that time
totally
our monoxide alarm started going off?
No.
And we were like, okay, it's just a low battery. And we
yeah.
I had to wake you up. That thing says that we're doomed. So don't turn on any lamps.
Hey, wake up, please.
Yeah.
Are you just asleep or dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we?
It was fun to do this kind of format of video for a change. I think it's been a little while.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to just talk about something that's getting your goat.
Yeah, it's rather of the moment. We didn't have the time. Everything.
We didn't blog it live and get my like. For some reason, me ranting about Black Christmas seemed to do rather well on your channel, but
yeah, we should have done a lot. Like I should have paused it once my man went a little feminine, and I should have thrown a camera on her at the very least.
Me doing this.
Yeah, Emily gets very vocal during movies that she loses patience with, and
just in general, whenever you're trying to do stuff, usually.
Yeah, just anything, like if I'm trying to watch Dark Knight Rises, Bane is just the bane of my existence because Emily's gonna laugh unironically, just completely.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, so hopefully Jason Blum's got some stuff for boys somewhere in that big closet of films that he just keeps buying. It seems like every 2 weeks there's a Blumhouse movie coming out.
Yeah. He's gonna do ones for the non-binaries next. That's an untapped market, right?
Yeah, you said it. Now it's really gonna happen too. Again,
I mean, I don't think they've had a movie specifically catered pandering to them, so that'll be interesting to see.
And again, yet they exist today. Why not ask them what movies they look to and then work from there?
Yeah, that would be a good place to start, probably.
Because that stuff already exists.
Yeah.
But what the fuck do I know? My favorite movie is Inception. Does that mean I like to sleep? Oh, actually it does. Shit.
All
right. What do you got coming up on the channel, Emily?
Oh God, I don't know. I still have my Halloween video to do. I don't know.
Halloween? No, your video themed for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on some zombie makeup and I'm gonna review Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, get fired up.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I have my cuties.
Oh yeah.
My not quite who would like that length. It's a bit of who would like that light, or I have an edited video about cuties where I'll be discussing that, and it's modern taboo thing, and some of you might be surprised what number 4 is. Sorry. Yeah. So that's it. That's it from both of us.
Yep. Thank you for watching, and
if we see
with your messages and everything.
If we see something else that gets our panties in a twist, we'll be back and discussing it in front of you. But until then,
CP.
I've been Emily.
Yeah.
And thank you so much to everybody who is with us for the live show. Cecil, Michael, Kimberly, especially. Simon, thank you for the kind words.
Kimberly, come on my channel. You know stuff.
Do you want a job as a writer?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Stay away from the news.